Hi, everyone. It's so nice to be back in my office. As you can see, I just got back from a month trip to Tomorrowland. So, Tomorrowland was a weekend festival in Belgium. And then I spent 3 weeks in London after that. If you guys have seen me on my stories, I've kind of been sharing here and there of my travels. And yeah, it was such an amazing time. I ate so much food. I drank so much beer. I think my boyfriend and I literally drank a beer every day. Yes, even on weekdays. If you guys aren't familiar with London, it's a huge pub kind of culture. Everyone's having a beer during their work break. They're going for beers after work. We were staying in central London, right in Soho, literally where all the action is, all the good restaurants. It was so fun. Now I'm back to Vancouver. I'm excited because I really missed my desk and working off a dual screen. By the way, if you guys are curious about how I eat and travel without worrying about symptoms, I can create an episode all about things I do to prevent flares from happening, what I'm eating, my day to day when I'm traveling, because traveling is such a big part of my life and it's my favorite thing to do. It's a non negotiable for me, and I'm very fortunate to be able to work remote and travel. But also, I have a boyfriend that lives in England and we're doing long distance. So, traveling is often part of my schedule and I manage my symptoms. I try to make sure my eczema is under control when I do travel because, yes, my skin does flare when I'm stressed or when I'm off routine. But I can create an episode all about that if you guys are curious. Now, for today's episode, this is a long time coming topic. I have so many questions about pregnancy and eczema. Why do some of you experience the worst flares of your life during pregnancy? Others don't. Others have the best skin when they're pregnant and they have the worst skin postpartum. This episode is going to be really, really, really helpful for you if you're going to be a mom to be. Congratulations if you are, and you're worried about your symptoms, or you're feeling like you're getting some eczema, or maybe you had a really good pregnancy where your skin was completely clear and then you noticed symptoms during postpartum. I'm going to uncover everything today so you have a better understanding as to what is happening during pregnancy and postpartum when it comes to eczema. Before we dive into the episode, I actually have to announce this before I forget. So I recently launched my own virtual dispensary, which is a selection of my favorite brands where you can directly purchase your supplements from them. If you have been a client of mine or received a personalized protocol from me, you know I have specific brands that I absolutely love that have worked so well for my own healing journey and also has helped my clients achieving amazing results from these supplements. The virtual dispensary is now on my website featuring brands like Designs for Health, Microbiome Labs, and Thorn, which are my favorite brands, and a couple others. So right now I'm doing 15% off the entire dispensary, so you get discounts on all of the supplements with Designs for Health, Microbiome Labs, and Thorn. And why this is good for you is not only do you get discounts this time because I'm doing a launch right now, but there's going to be future promos for these brands. And a lot of times you can't actually get these professional grade supplements unless you have a practitioner account or you have a practitioner order for you. It's basically access to high quality professional grade supplements that you can't normally get in stores. And you have the perks of discounts, reliable shipping, curated selection of my favorite supplements all inside the dispensary. You can see everything when you actually visit the dispensary, but I want to let you guys know you can purchase 15% off everything. The sale is going to be up until September 21st, 2025. I know we have a full month here, but it's better to stock up on your supplements now before you forget. And especially during the fall season, you know, this is where we tend to get sick, right? Our gut's a little bit off from a summer of drinking and partying and, you know, doing all the things. Maybe not partying and drinking, but you know, busy summers. So this would be a perfect time to stock up on these supplements. Now, if you have any questions about ordering, feel free to let me know. The link to my dispensary will be in the show notes. You can just click into it and then you get access to your entire library of professional grade supplements from these brands. You definitely don't want to miss out on this. Okay, now without further ado, let's talk about today's episode. So many women see their eczema worsen during pregnancy or even after giving birth or both. Today, I'm going to break down the science as to why these shifts happen during pregnancy and postpartum, and then tips as to what you can do to support your body during this time. So first and foremost, if you're experiencing symptoms during your pregnancy and postpartum, It's hormonal. Big reason is hormonal. There's a lot of hormonal shifts during this time. Your estrogen and progesterone, which are your main hormones that change during pregnancy, do affect the immune system and your skin. And we'll talk about that right away. But I do want to mention just right off the bat, hormone shifts definitely impact eczema. And what's interesting is that studies have shown that 20% of women actually see an improvement in their eczema during pregnancy, and around 50% experience worsening, and 10% of cases flare postpartum. Unfortunately, the chances are higher for people to experience worsening of eczema during their pregnancy, but there's actually 20% of women that notice improvement. I want to share a little bit of immune basics. I don't want to get too scientific in this episode. I want to make this super easy to understand, but your body basically has immune cells. And particularly, there are two types of cells. There's Th1 cells and Th2 cells in your immune system. Both of these types of cells help your body respond to infections, allergens, inflammation. Patients with eczema, which is a lot of us, and you listening to this episode, your immune system's actually more lean towards Th2 dominant. This is why people develop eczema, because it's a Th2 dominant condition. Typically, a normal healthy immune system should have a balance of both Th1 and Th2. People with eczema tend to have more of the Th2 dominance. When you lean more towards Th2 dominance, meaning that you're more sensitive to the environment, you have more allergens, more sensitivity to irritants. Basically, your skin is just more sensitive, right, to the environment and to food as well. So now that you know that eczema is more Th2 dominant, so it's more active in those parts of the immune system, so you're more prone to allergens and irritants, then this will explain a little bit more as to what happens during pregnancy. During pregnancy, your body actually shifts towards Th2 dominance. So if you already have Th2 dominance because of eczema, then it further exacerbates the symptoms of eczema. The reason why your body shifts towards Th2 dominance during pregnancy is to protect the baby. This helps prevent your immune system from attacking the baby, but what this also means, and it's not obviously pleasant, is that it promotes inflammation like eczema. So essentially, more Th2 dominance equals more eczema. However, some people do see improvements in their skin during pregnancy, and that's because if you're normally someone that has a Th1 driven inflammation, so Th1 conditions look like psoriasis, arthritis, certain autoimmune conditions. If you have a Th1 dominance immune system, then during pregnancy, it ends up balancing out because pregnancy is more lean towards Th2. And so the Th2 shift during pregnancy can actually reduce your symptoms. This is basically the pregnancy immune system shift, and it explains why you might be experiencing worsening of your eczema during this time. Now, moving on to the actual hormones. So in your first trimester of pregnancy, your estrogen and progesterone are rising fairly quickly. This is in preparation of caring for the baby, right? Your uterine lining is thickening to support ovulation. Your uterine lining is growing and thickening to support the baby's growth. And so estrogen rises. Estrogen is basically called the builder. Building the uterine lining, it's supporting ovulation. It actually boosts skin collagen as well. Think of it the hormone that says, okay, let's get everything ready in preparation for growing this beautiful baby. Progesterone is the calmer. After ovulation, it helps to maintain the uterine lining, and it does have this natural soothing anti-inflammatory effect. It's very much the calmer hormone. In contrast to estrogen, it's the hormone that says, okay, now that everything is built, let's keep everything steady and protect what's built. So because there's so much going on during the first trimester with the changes in hormones, people do notice their eczema worsening, especially in the first trimester. Now, in the second trimester, things are a little bit more calmer, right? Especially with even symptoms during your pregnancy. A lot of people notice all the nausea, they don't feel well in the first trimester, and it gets better in the second. Similar to hormones, right? Because it's related. Your estrogen does still rise during your second trimester, but things are a lot calmer at this time. And so people do experience their symptoms calming down a little bit more during this trimester. Now, by the third trimester, your body's preparing for the birth of your child, getting close to delivery. And so there's more hormonal changes, your progesterone levels are high, your estrogen level really peaks. And so, your skin is also stretching because of carrying the baby. And so that can also trigger more eczema as well. Changes in the skin that may compromise the skin barrier. And then again, with the fluctuations in your hormones, you're shifting that immune system as well. So the skin might feel itchy and irritated again in the third trimester. Now, obviously, everyone's body is very different, and there's other factors that affect affect eczema during pregnancy, right? There's stress, there's lack of sleep, there's nutrition, genetics. And so while this explains the science as to why you might be flaring during your pregnancy, pay attention to your own body and see if you have other trends or other correlations. And maybe this is, spot on. And you're like, wow, first trimester, eczema was the worst. Second trimester, it calmed down. And then third trimester, it flared up again. I don't know. That could very much be possible too. Okay, so that's pregnancy, changes in eczema that can happen during the different trimesters. Now let's talk about postpartum, a very common time where women flare. So within 24 to 48 hours of delivery, both your two hormones, estrogen and progesterone, levels drop dramatically. This sudden change in hormones, just like any sudden change with hormones, sudden change in diet, sudden change with cleanses, it can be a shock to the body. So that affects multiple systems in your body. First of all, your skin, right? The drop in estrogen can affect skin hydration, skin barrier. It can affect collagen support. So the skin might be more prone to dryness and irritation. Immune system, again, right? So if you're having drastic changes in your hormones, it's going to shift your immune system toward Th2 dominance. In pregnancy, your immune system was leaned towards Th2 dominance. Now, when you've given birth, it's going to shift back to Th1. And while Th1 would be actually good to have because, as eczema warriors, we have too much of that Th2, again, when we're having this drastic change in hormones and drastic change in your immune system, that can cause inflammatory rebounds and trigger more of those eczema symptoms during this time. So this combination of hormonal changes, which then affects the immune system, causing that rebound from the Th2 to the Th1, can result in postpartum eczema flares, even if your skin was calm during pregnancy. Hope that gave you some clarity as to what might be going on with your body, but basically it's the immune system shift and the drastic change in hormones. Remember, postpartum, you just gave birth, right? A lot's going on. Your body was stressed. It's trying to recalibrate. It's trying to balance the hormones and the immune system again, and that disruption in the changes can cause your body to be out of whack for a period of time until it readjusts completely. Okay, the question I get most as to, okay, Julia, I understand now. What do I do during this time? Because obviously during pregnancy, it's already so hard to carry a baby, and then you're experiencing flares. Here are my top tips to help with managing eczema in pregnancy and postpartum. And honestly, it's not going to be too different than supporting someone with eczema who isn't pregnant or postpartum. During pregnancy, you actually have to make sure you're getting a lot of nutrition, right? Not only do you have to provide nutrition for yourself, but also for a growing baby. And so it's important not to, first of all, restrict your diet. That's the last thing we want to do, or that's not even a thing we should do anyways during pregnancy, is we do not want to be on elimination diet or restrictive diet. I don't care what other people say. I don't care what the internet says about restricting your diet to help with eczema. We are not doing that during pregnancy, and we're certainly not doing that postpartum, especially if you're breastfeeding. Your body's nutrient demands are very, very high with regular eczema, like not even during pregnancy, it's high. Now, adding the pregnancy into it, it's going to be even higher, right? Because you're feeding the baby. So please make sure you're getting lots of nutrition, focusing on healthy fats, protein, and fiber at every single meal. Stabilize your blood sugar, and you do that by having balanced meals, not skipping meals, including more of anti-inflammatory foods like fatty fish, flaxseed, leafy greens, prebiotic foods, different colors, smoothies, yogurt bowls, right? Think of color is how you're going to get more of those anti-inflammatory foods into your diet. Stress reduction, of course, that's really important. Your body's already stressed physically from carrying a baby in your body, but not only this, there's a lot of emotional and mental stress that comes along with pregnancy and postpartum too. Make sure you're incorporating some sort of mindfulness practice. No excuses for that. You have 5 minutes a day to do this. Go for a 5-minute walk, do a 5-minute meditation, do a 2-minute breathing. All of this sounds so simple and short, but it does go a very long way. So of course, nutrition's important. Stress reduction as much as you can is very important. I know this is not going to be possible for everybody, but ask for help. I think that's a really big piece. I'm not a mother, so I don't really know what it's like. And I can't really say I understand, but I do have a lot of clients who are new mothers, who have a lot of children, and they're busy. They're really busy. And one of the things that helps them the most to attend our calls and to do some of the things I recommend them, like the stress reduction and taking care of themselves, is that they get some support. So they have someone watching their baby when they're doing their mindfulness practice, right? They're getting support from friends or from family, so that takes some of that load off of them. And that will make a difference on your eczema healing, because, eczema is often tied to stress, 99% of people. So we do have to be intentional with how much we can do and not burning yourself out. Another thing that's often overlooked is addressing root causes. So while hormones and your immune system shifts happen during pregnancy, and that's one of the root causes of eczema flares during this time, but we also want to look at other root causes like microbiome changes or any gut stuff going on. You want to be identifying if you have other root causes in the gut and you want to support your microbiome, then that's something to definitely look into. And please work with a practitioner too, because if you're addressing root causes and you're thinking of starting supplements, there are supplements that are not necessarily safe for pregnant mothers and also for breastfeeding. So you definitely want to work with someone that knows how to navigate supplements. Correct any nutrient deficiencies. That could be a potential root cause. Maybe looking at your vitamins and mineral blood work. Again, having a practitioner assess that, and then supplement if needed. Reducing any inflammatory triggers, whether it's sugar, processed foods, histamine triggers, things in your lifestyle, not just in diet, and your lifestyle, that could be potentially causing more inflammation. I hope that helped you understand the hormone, pregnancy, eczema relationship. I know someone had asked me, I think it was probably in a review, about an episode about this. So if you listened to this episode and it helped you, please let me know. I've been thinking about a lot of you guys, and I have a couple clients right now have experienced postpartum eczema or are experiencing it right now. This episode is for you. Just know that you are not doing anything wrong. You are doing everything right. Just trust your body. It's trying to adjust from all the hormone changes. You literally just gave birth to a baby, and that took a lot of energy and a lot of stress, and it's a lot. So give yourself compassion, give your body compassion. Rest is going to be the most important thing. Gentle nutrition, meaning we're not overdoing stuff, we're not restricting, we're not forcing, right? Incorporate mindfulness practices, but don't feel like you're forcing that either. Anytime there's force, it's not going to work. Give yourself space, give yourself compassion, and just know that it will pass. Get support if you haven't already from a practitioner to help you with your nutrition and support you during this flare, but also support with your babies, right? Your kids, to see if that will take some of the stress off of you. You'll be surprised how much your eczema will probably start to heal when you just have a little bit more time to yourself, if that's possible, right? Okay, that's it. That's all I have for today. I wanted it to be a short episode, but I had so much to explain. I do really hope this episode helped you. Send it to someone, by the way, if you know someone that has experienced eczema or is currently experiencing eczema during their pregnancy or postpartum. They might find this episode helpful. Don't forget to leave us a review, like us on YouTube, leave us a review on Apple iTunes or Spotify. Share it to your friends and family. Have a good rest of your day, and we will see you in the next episode.